Good evening, all, and welcome to Club Live with me, your host for tonight, Jamie Mackay. I am joined with the man, the myth, the legend, Scott Carney. How you doing, mate?
Yes, I'm good, mate. All good. Everything's all rosy in the world of Rangers right now, which is fantastic. So, yes,
Yep.
very much looking forward to getting into stuff tonight. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Bear with us tonight. It is only the two of us. We are men. We can't multitask, but I will do my best to get your comments and stuff up. But please bear with us. So, no shouting at me, please. But yes, looking forward to it, mate.
So, will we just get right into it? Ross
You might as well,
County,
mate.
obviously.
Might as well.
Ross County during the week. It was an essential game for us to possibly go top of the table with goal difference. We didn't in the end. We nearly did. It was a close call. What were your thoughts on it, mate?
Yeah, look, I'm going to start with something that I think is because I've been thinking about it really since I've seen the different reactions from different people. A lot of people weren't happy, and I'm like, I mean,
Aye.
I can't really understand why you can't be happy with how good Rangers were. I thought Rangers were really good, really good. And I think if you take the context out of what winning by 3 goals of more would have meant, if you take that out, I think everybody would have been delighted with what we've seen. Okay, it could have been a cricket score. Yes, that'll all come in time. Rangers absolutely battered them, and we showed a lot of good football on Wednesday night. Okay, it didn't go the way that we all planned, but the 3 points is ultimately all that matters. I don't think this league will go to goal difference. I think a team will outright win it. Hint, hint. I think it will be Rangers. Of course, I do. But
It's got to be said.
It's got to be said. The context of the goal, the margin of goals that we won by, I think it overshadowed how good Rangers were in spells on Wednesday night. I thought some of the football was brilliant. I really did. And if it wasn't, as I say, if it wasn't for that, I just think there would be a different feeling around it. Look, of course I wanted to win 3-0, but as soon as I left, I thought, I'm happy with that. I thought we were dominant from start to finish. I thought we created enough chances to well and truly put Ross County to bed, but you still have to remember that there's new signings come into this team.
Aye.
Philip Clement spoke about kind of drip feeding the team his philosophy, so they're not overwhelmed by what he's trying to do, and he's slowly building to that. And at some point, a team's going to get a doing off us. If we play like that against most of the teams in the league, we will win, and we'll win very comfortably. And probably from what Hearts down, if you play like that, you're probably going to get a decent score against them. It wasn't to be. It just wasn't to be. But the 3 points for me, mate, was all that mattered. And as I say, the performance for me was really good. I can't really pick out too many negatives in it.
I mean, similar to you, I had grumblings around me in BF3, real grumblings, and I thought this just isn't. It doesn't seem fair on the players because, like you, I thought we played probably one of the best games we have this season in terms of playing offensively. Like some of the stats are just wild. 43 total shots, 23 on target. The keeper had probably the game. I think Clement said as well, the game of his life.
The second half, especially, he was tremendous.
Some of the saves, I think the one from Cantwell, they kind of drove the ball tipped on at the bar was just absolutely brilliant in terms of possession too, 70% possession. So I'm not one to usually go into the stats too much, but the stats are there to show everyone how well we played on Wednesday night. And
Jamie,
I thought we played really well.
mate. I've never looked at stats during a game, ever. Never done it. And because obviously I thought we're not getting the third tier, it's not happening, it's still sitting at 2-1. I was like, I wonder what the stats are. And I checked. And I think at like 77 minutes, we were like 36 shots on goal. And I was like, bloody hell. I was like,
I know.
Look at that. It's like total dominance. But yeah, I was blinded by it too as well. During the game, I'm going, come on, Rangers, getting frustrated at times. But after it, literally as soon as the full-time whistle went, we left and we started walking back to the car. I was like, that was good. I was like, that was really good. There was a lot of good things shown by that team. But the stats, they're frightening, man.
Crazy. I mean, one of the things obviously that we just brought up there was the chance to go top. The goal difference thing, I think, should come into play later on in the season. So I actually think there was a lot of focus put on the goal difference. Given that they were still in the very early stages of the second half of the season, what are your thoughts? Do you think it was important that we'd done it on Wednesday, or do you think just put it to the side?
Look, I'm not going to lie. I was going to Ibrox wanting to see Rangers be outright top. Of course I was. I'm not going to be hypocritical. That's what I wanted to see. I thought when we got the early goal, I thought, what's on here? And I think that's another reason that there was a kind of adverse reaction to it, because we scored early and everyone was like, right, we're up. We're going to do this. And it's been a long time coming. I get it. Ultimately, this is a title race. A lot of people haven't experienced a title race, mate. Like they don't remember what it used to be like, and at times when it used to be really tight. Like there's it's not always a team's going to win by a massive margin. So I think it was important. I don't think it was that important. I think it would have been brilliant. I do. I think, and the fact that we got the 3 points and we got the third goal, which I think was a massive relief even for the team, was huge to them. It's another moment that I think we can not a big game, but a pressure moment for the team.
Yeah.
We've failed previously to take advantage of this. We've failed so many times to close the gap. We've now got the gap back to 0. The gap it doesn't exist. There is no gap anymore. So in terms of that, I think you've got to look at the positives within that. Of course, I would have loved Rangers to win 5 or 6-1, and we probably should have, but I'm not going to be too upset about it due to the way that we did play. What I will say is I'm so glad there was no sucker punch, because at 2-1, I was thinking, don't you bloody dare, because that would have been catastrophic.
I'm glad you brought that up, because how often do we talk about scar tissue on the podcast? We talk about the previous years going 1-1 at Ibrox. You hear the grumbles, you hear folk around you getting upset. But you know what? Like, Wednesday for me was different. They scored, and albeit I think it's at one point we'll come on to the defending. We'll maybe make a wee segment of that later on. Bad goal to lose, but you know what? My confidence was still at absolute peak going 1-1. And even when it was 2-1 and there was a few wee shaky moments, there was one point, I think Tav missed the ball, tried to clear it over his left shoulder. The boy nipped in, and obviously McCausland had a clearance towards the end of the game. So I just think overall, as Rangers fans, now I think we can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief and know that this team and this squad, they're up for the challenge 100%.
I think exactly that. I think the mentality change in Clermont, and I think I put a thing in the group chat after we were all having a say about it, and a few were kind of disappointed, and it was mixed reactions. I'm not going to pretend that it wasn't, but the difference Clermont has made to this team is tenfold. It really is. I mean, the squad of players is primarily the same that we had under Beale, and the mentally, fitness levels, the style of football that we're playing, everything is completely different, and we've made a massive jump forward. The mentality is the big one for me, because previous teams under previous managers would have failed at the chances that were put in front of them in order to close the gap, and we have done that. We have kept the pressure on them. They have crumbled at the pressure. I don't think there's any great doubt. I think they knew it was coming. They could see the football that we were playing under Clermont, and we've managed to get there. They can cling on to I don't know, they've scored 4 more goals. They can cling on to that if they like, mate. But everything is on a level par right now, and I can't praise Clermont enough for the change that he's implemented into the team. The mentality difference it's night and day. It really is night and day, and he's installing this winning mentality of every game at a time. We win that game almost every training session. That's what I think Adam said it earlier in the week when he was on. He's not even taking it every game. He's taking it every training session at a time, and the players are buying into it. But the biggest thing that he's done, he's installed belief into every single Rangers fan yet again, and we're all going, I can't believe that we're in this position. And that's what that's not my argument, because I've not really had back and forth with people about people that were negative after Wednesday night, or slightly negative about it. I don't mean fully negative, but slightly negative, is if you think of where we were under Beale and you get promised this on the 14th on Valentine's Day in February, that you would be level top on points and on goal difference, would you take it? You fucking right you would. You would bite your bloody hand off for it. So you've got to remember the bigger picture. It's a marathon, and Clermont's words, to paraphrase him, it's a marathon, and he's working wonders.
I mean, there's no two ways about it. Really, it's down to Philip Clermont. I mean, we praise him so much in this podcast now, but as you say, it's instilling that belief in the players that didn't look as if they were going to make it at Ibrox whatsoever, that have just came back honestly from nothing just to start performing again. And I think testament to him, is it? And we've got going. And I think going from the top and him saying we take it game by game, and the players are going to be doing that as well. So I think it's not looking above you if we're top, not looking above you for second or behind you if we're first, and just taking it game by game is definitely the best way to be going with this. So moving on, we're going to chat next about conversion of chances in games overall, not even just Wednesday, because obviously we just read out some of the stats here and they're pretty wild in terms of shots on target and overall approaches to goal. Obviously with Ross County, Hibs away, I think we had a lot of chances as well. Do we need to be more ruthless, mate?
But I don't think there's any doubt that that's an element that needs worked on. The striking position is always going to be one. And the thing is, as well, there's a massive stick to be beat over the back of Clermont when we're not taking these chances because of the lack of out and out striker that we signed in the winter window. So that's always going to be there. That's always the excuse that's there for everyone to use. We do have to be more ruthless in front of goal. To caveat that, though, I think he's still working on things. I still think there's more to come from this partnership of Silva and Cantwell that we're seeing. That there seems to be a real relationship growing between them two, and I believe when Diamonde and Cortez are fully up to speed, I think we can see that Cortez is going to get chances to score goals. He was very unlucky on Wednesday night not to get goals. So I think it's just a matter of being patient. I know we're entering this is a crucial time in the season. I mean, it can't be underestimated that this is a very important run that we need to go on now.
Yeah.
But I think the players and the manager just deserve that wee bit of patience. And I know we're not famed for being patient fans. I do fully understand that.
Nope.
But I think if we play like that again, then there is going to be a team that's going to get it, and they're going to get a real doing off Rangers. I think the ruthlessness thing's a bit disappointing, and it's probably more at the forefront of everybody's mind again because of what the goal difference would have meant on Wednesday night. But I think it will come. I do think it will come. Yeah. I think we're going to see goals from different areas of the pitch that we haven't been seeing recently. And we've said this for years. We were far too reliant on Alfredo Morelos and James Tavernier to score goals. We were still probably relying on Tavernier to a certain extent when Clermont came in as well. I think it's still pretty much been the same for this season. But what we're seeing now is Tav assisting more, not scoring the goals. And I think that's crucial. That's all the change that we need. We need our attacking players to be contributing with goals, not just assists to Tav that's made the blazing run that he always makes to the back post, if that makes sense. But I think in time, mate, it's going to come. I really do. I believe in time it's going to come. I've got full faith in this manager now. I've completely bought in. I am all in on him. I really am. I'll double down on him if I need to, mate, because I think he's working wonders. And I do think he's got the correct mindset, the correct ideas, the way that he's coaching the team to get the best out of the players that he's got. It's just all positives for me. But there is no doubt that we need to score more goals, but I believe it will come. And I think it will come sooner rather than later.
Well, look, that's an excellent segue there to the next point. My man, D9, the Nigerian. D9. Halfway to 10 for the second half of the season, by the way. Halfway to 10. I did call it. Ryan Haymarch will be sweating. He'll be absolutely sweating.
Thank you. Did you not owe you 50 quid if he gets 10 goals?
I don't know if there was any money saying that it was going to be exchanged, but I'll take it if you're saying that. If that's because I had a few pints in the live night, so I'll take that if you're saying it, mate. So overall, let's chat about him a bit, right? So 10 goals and 2 assists in the league so far, 14 goals in total. He's clearly an instinctive finisher. I think his first goal the other night proves that, right? It proves it. Ball over the top. I think it's a shoulder, but it's not a bouncing off the shoulder. It's weighted on his head, and then it's a lovely volley over the keeper. So there's no doubt he's a finisher. Take the Betis game as well, for example. It really, this is why I think a lot of the Rangers fan base are talking about him so much, because it's a bit of a frustrating point that he's getting the chances. He could have scored 6 easy the other night. I mean, the one that sticks out in my mind was Cortez took the ball on the left, passed their right back on a real mazy, cut it back, and somehow he skied it so far, but the keeper still got it. And it went about 100 foot up in the air. I was thinking, how could you even do that, by the way? But for me, he's obviously missing chances, but if he's got this sort of free scoring manner to his game, 2 goals is a good return our night. Do you think it's that important that he's missing these chances?
He's an enigma, isn't he? I mean, he really is an enigma of a player, because I said in the group chat after the game, he is both amazing and terrible all at the same time. It's an incredible thing to watch.
It's a great summing up of him, mate. Great summing up of him.
But the first goal was tremendous. I mean, what a finish! I was like, oh, brilliant.
Super.
And even the guy sits behind me as well, at Ibrox. I think he watches the pod and he knows I've gave Dessers a bit of a doing on previous occasions, and he's having a laugh with me, and I'm going, look, he gets in the right places. He really does. I think his movement's improved under Clement. I think his positioning's improved under Clement. Do I see him as the long-term solution to all our striker problems? No, I don't. I really don't. But do I see him, and it's a lot of money we paid for a guy that could make an impact, but I could see him, even next season, if we don't move him on, he could probably still contribute 10, 15 goals. He's going to get goals. He really is. But the frustrating thing is, as I said in the group chat to line up Ryan as well, Negri would have scored about 16 the other night. But it's so difficult to judge the guy, because there's sometimes you're like, my goodness. Like, the frustrating one for me was when he just kind of ran into the keeper and then turned around and started shouting at Matondo for it. I was like, I don't think that's really Matondo's fault there.
I know, I've seen that. And then there was obviously the other one where he kind of went through and he checked back inside, and he had more time than he thought. I think he hit the post in the end, but he had way more time just to steer it to the keeper's left-hand side, because the goal was gaping. So I think all in all, his decision making, I think you're bang on, mate. I really think that his overall play has definitely got better under Clement. So Clement clearly knows how to get a tune out of him.
100%, and he's in the right places, though. That's the thing. As a striker, you want your striker to be where he needs to be. Yes, it's very frustrating when he makes a total cow's arse of it, but he is still scoring goals. I think the money was too much what we paid for him. Don't get me wrong, I do. For what we spent, he should already have your magical 10, mate, from whenever you mentioned it at the live show. But look, he's going to be. We're going to need to rely on the guy. So you can't really hate him. I thought the reception when he got off, I really appreciated that. I thought he really appreciated that. I thought Ibrox reacted really well to it, even though we all know how frustrating he is. But I also still think there's an understanding there with the fans going, we don't really have an option here. We don't have an option. We're going to need to back this guy because of the signings that we've made. Him and Silva are going to be critical. They really are. Silva needs to start scoring more goals. I think that's something that has to be worked on. Again, how much can you work on it? How much can you get out the guy, considering he won't be a Rangers player next season?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't think so anyway. So Dessers is the main actual man that's contracted to this club. Is he frustrating? Oh, fuck, man, he's frustrating. He's very frustrating. Very frustrating. But he's scoring goals. He is scoring goals. And the header that he scored was like the worst header you're ever going to see, really. The keeper should do better. But he scores it. It doesn't matter. He scores it.
It just totally trickles in. Do you know what I mean? It totally trickles in. But I mean, I think for us as fans, and obviously we'd spoke about it on the pod before, was the fact that we didn't secure that number 9 in the January transfer market, and we do have big injuries to Danilo, and Kemar Roofe is even injured. I don't know. He just kicked about somewhere. But it's slim pickings. So like, you've got it, and I think that's a good shout to bring that up, as the reception that he got going off the other night, because I think as fans we know that he's given his all. See, for the rest of the season, he's going to be frustrating, but I'll tell you something, he's going to score crucial goals for us in this title race, 100%.
Yeah, I've got no doubt, mate. I think he has to be. He has to be given credit for not letting his head completely drop and getting himself back into to scoring ways. And he probably is a confidence player. He's admitted that himself, that he's going to need to grow in confidence, and he is growing in confidence as the games go on. And it might just have took him a wee bit of time to settle. Look, as I say, I still think it was a bit too much that we paid for him, but you have to give credit where it's due. And without his 2 goals the other night, as I say, you don't win that game. I know that's quite a kind of blasé way to look at it, but he scored the 2 goals. He should have easily have had a hat-trick. There's no problem at all about that.
Yeah.
That was the joke that started after he got his second. I was like, my God, we're going to go top of the league and it's going to be Dessers that's got a hat-trick during the game, which would have been very fitting.
I had him on it. I had him on at 25 to 1 the other night on Sky Bet. So I was like my two fingers in my jacket pocket, standing in my seat, and then he was missing all these chances. I was like, you've cost me about 200 quid here. So no, I think overall, as you say, I think in the second half of the season, we're going to have to heavily rely on it. I mean, Silva is still at times dropping a wee bit too deep. I still don't think he looks like a number 9. I like I know you brought it up earlier on. I really like his link-up play with Cantwell. I think they have a real understanding so far. For me, though, definitely not a number 9, and he's not that instinctive finisher. He doesn't like to play off the shoulder as a 9, but it's almost kind of like a false 9, isn't it? So I do think the difference between the two of them. And obviously, as we've talked about already, we're playing across 3 competitions in the latter half of the season, so we're going to need to swap them.
We are. We're absolutely. Sorry, I've just been distracted by a question that's actually, it's not relevant, but it kind of popped up, and I'm interested to hear what everybody says about this. JD's asked, would you sell Butland if you get to keep Fabio Silva, Sima and Cortez?
I know what you're going to say. You've got stars in your eyes for Jack Butland, man.
There's no chance I'm selling Butland. Absolutely
no way. You wouldn't. I don't think you would even sell Jack Butland for Messi, or like, do you know what I mean?
Probably not, mate. No,
he's you want him to be playing at Rangers till he's 50 or something like that. Like,
yes, I do.
No, I think good question, by the way, but no, I mean, Silva, we've not seen enough of him yet. Sima had a real purple patch the first half of the season. Obviously, I'm not really sure we're going to see him before the end of the season. I think Clement said maybe he might come back April or something, which would be good for the run-in. But no, like, come on, Butland's he's far too essential for us at the moment. Far too essential.
There's a lot of people in the chat saying no chance, no chance, no chance. No
a lot of no chances. Look, a lot of no chances.
But the thing is, though, in the summer, no matter what happens, everybody is going to be for sale. It's what we are as a club. Everybody will be for sale, but the price will need to be right for Butland. If we do go on and win the league, by God, if we end up winning a treble or a quadruple, even, can you imagine the price you can ask for players is mental? It really is, especially somebody like Butland. You're talking 20 million plus, no problem at all.
100%. I think Butland's going to come into the chat in the summer, and my pal James, who I sit with, brought up the other night that he looks like he's in the running to maybe get a call up for England at the Euros as well, which is just absolutely fantastic. And I think that casts a spotlight on the Scottish game as well, so it can only be good for us.
100%. I think that'd be a great thing if we managed to get called out, especially to a kind of high-ranking team like England in terms of the way they are in the national setup. I think it would be massive for Rangers, because Rangers can say, well, look, if you're maybe not got the form down south, you can come here, you can prove your point, and you'll get yourself into the national setup. So no, it's only a good thing for me, that. Absolutely.
So moving on. Cortez and Diamandi were the two January signings, mate. This year, they both look good. They both have looked good. But who do you think is making more of an impact so far?
Probably because of the type of player that he is, I would say Cortez, because he is direct, man. He really is. There's my player. I'm going to run at you, and I'm going to give you a hell of a time. And I think that's what he's been brought here to do. I really like the look of the lad. I really do. Look, it's early days, and I know we as Rangers fans, we're quick to judge good and bad. We are quick to judge good and bad. However, the impact that he's made so far, I'm going, I can see where the appeal was to bring him into the club. Yeah, I think the exciting thing about him is his age as well. He's still a young lad. He is still a young lad, and I say the other night he could have had a couple of goals. There was one really good save, one that he probably should score that just goes wide. However, again, he's getting himself in the positions, and I noticed even on Wednesday night that in the second half, the front three were really quite close together. We weren't playing with much width. I think we were letting the kind of fullbacks do that. And we were really trying to occupy the middle of the kind of the 18-yard box, really, the width of the 18-yard box. We're really trying to occupy that in order to create a bit of space and the defenders to be attracted to them. And I thought Cortez was pretty vital in that. I think he'll come good. I can see Rangers if he continues on the trajectory that he started on. Rangers will know. I don't think Rangers will have any hesitations about agreeing the deal, whatever it may be, whatever the option to buy is. I think Rangers they'll be quite happy to pay that in order to get him to the club permanently. Diomande, I think we need to see more from him. I think in the role that he's in, we've probably not seen him playing out and out his proper role. I think he is going to be more of an 8 than he is a 10. I know he's come on as a sub, but I think we probably need to see him from the start, see how he is when he sets up with the kind of team around him, how Clement would expect it. But again, he's another exciting player. He is another exciting player that I'm looking forward to seeing more of. But yeah, probably because of where he plays and the type of player that he is, I would say Cortez is definitely making a good impact so far.
Yeah, I mean, two things that stood out for me the other night. The one thing, and it's interesting you brought it up, was where he was playing. At one point, him and McCausland swapped, because obviously came on in the left.
Yeah.
And then I think he swapped maybe last 10 minutes and went over the right. And I just think, see, the direct level of his play, I think is something we've been crying out for in terms of a winger for ages. He just looks dangerous every time he gets on the ball. And it's quite strange. He doesn't have a staggering amount of pace, but he's got extremely quick feet, which I think is just absolutely brilliant. So I'm with you, mate. I think if the club have the option, and obviously we don't know the fee that's been touted, but I think he's just going to go from strength to strength as he gets fitter. And I think we're going to see him start a whole lot more games as well. In terms of Diomande, I think Diamande's been, when he's played, we've seen flashes of him. Obviously, he started against Ayr. I think the other night when he came on, there was one point where County were pressing and Diomande had about 5 players around him and he flicked the ball inside and right away we were down the pitch and we nearly scored. So things like that, getting his foot in the ball, taking players out of play, is just like, he looks very unhurried, which I think we've been crying out for in a midfielder for ages.
I agree, mate. I think he looks an important player to get us out of kind of tricky situations. He's very clever with his ball at the ball at his feet. I think he's not really intimidated by having a number of players around him. I think he has belief in himself to kind of get out of it. I kind of flashes of Joe Aribo about him in that regard, and just get yourself out of trouble with just a drop of the shoulder, quick feet, whatever it may be. But yeah, you kind of, me and Adam spoke about it on the pod the other night there on Tuesday. We were speaking about him being brought in, and you can kind of start to see why he has been brought in. He's more expressive is probably the word. He's got a lot more flair, drive to go forward, and that's not taken away from anything that we have. But if you look at Raskin and him, for example, they are very much different players.
Yeah,
Raskin's kind of more box to box. Don't get me wrong, I think Diomande won't shy about getting back, but when you are playing against packed defences, to have a number 8 that's not willing to take a player on, not willing to try something, not scared to try something. Yeah. And willing to be expressive and to show his skill and pick the right pass. Example, I think he's a real promising talent. But as a midfielder that we probably needed. We've said, I don't know how long we've said it for. We don't need two holding or a holding and a box to box midfielder against Ross County at home. You just don't need it. You really don't need it. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. That is for absolute sure.
Absolutely, mate. So from one midfielder to another midfielder, we're going to talk about Tom Lawrence next.
And before we talk about Tom Lawrence, I'll do you a favour, and it's time for a word from our sponsors, mate. 2024 is here and in full swing, and that means it's time for a New Year's resolution check-in with our friends at Manscaped. It's never too late to level up your grooming game. Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're going for a trim or that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trusted by 10 million men worldwide, now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. Introducing Manscaped's 5th generation lawnmower. It's not just a trimmer, it's your grooming sidekick. Equipped with two skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires, and it's waterproof. And for the men who want the full grooming experience, look no further than the Manscaped Performance Package 5.0. In this grooming kit, you get trusted lawnmower, Manscaped's ear and nose hair trimmer, and essential aftercare products, the Crop Soother Lotion and the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. Yes, it's deodorant for your balls. I bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. You think you needed that? I didn't, but I do use it all the time now. It is really good stuff. As a gesture for the new year, they've even thrown in 2 free gifts: the Boxers 2.0, the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Let's face it, resolutions might come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay thanks to Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. Embrace a new you and definitely embrace a new trimmer, courtesy of our friends at Manscaped. And I say it a million times, but it's genuinely true, their stuff is superb. If you use our code, you're supporting our podcast. So thank you very much, everybody that continues to do so. Jamie, back to you, my friend.
I'm not going to lie, mate. A lot of the viewers thought I'd done pretty well with the old Manscaped script the other day, but I can't do it quite like you.
I realised I thought, did I send it to you?
You did. Well, no, you didn't send this one. Well, you sent me the Valentine's one. You said, so
Valentine's Day's done. Can I do Valentine's Day?
You've let me off the hook tonight. You've let me off the hook.
I have.
But it's back to its rightful home with you anyway, so it's fine.
No, because I don't read it. There's a reason why I don't read it. It's not me that does it. It's you guys that are meant to do it. But no, it's only the two of us, mate. So I thought I'd give you a wee break, and I don't mind doing it. Honestly, It doesn't bother me doing it. Your balls. Exactly. Well, thank you, Aldo. Aldo's been watching for a long time. That was the saying back at the start when we first started at Manscaped. Your balls, well, thank you.
It's great, but that's really good.
I've still not got your kit. I'll need to get your kit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my multi-pack. All the gear, mate.
I'll get it. I need to speak to the guy. I'll just say, I brought something new on. Can I get a new kit, please?
Excellent. I'll send me a tracker number. I'll look out for it. So next. So obviously on to Tom Lawrence, like we were just about to bring up there. He's obviously playing in that deeper midfield role now, mate. So I think he's been impressive in there. He's getting on the ball. He's really making his tick moving forward. Do you think he's more suited to the 6 or 8 role, or do you think he should be further forward as a 10, which we have seen him in the past?
I think 6 too deep for him. I don't think he should be that far back. I believe he's playing a mix between this. Is we're inviting Adam back on tonight to discuss.
Oh yeah.
This. I think he's playing a kind of 8-10 role, a kind of hybrid between the both of them.
Yeah.
I thought Tom Lawrence on Wednesday night was superb. Genuinely, I thought he was excellent. He's not and I don't want to be kind of disrespectful to him or not give him the justice he deserves. He's a very uncomplicated player. He gets the ball, he looks up. If he has to take his man on, he will. If he doesn't, if he can play the pass, he'll play the pass. It sounds easy, but it's very difficult to do. It's one of those things, like you seen John Lundstrom even try that on Wednesday night, and he made a bit of an arse of it when he tried to take his man on and he touched the ball a wee bit too far. Whereas I feel like Lawrence has got the ability to take a man on because he's very good at reading the game. He knows if he takes that man on, all of a sudden X, Y, and Z is going to be free. I'm very impressed with him in this role. I really do. See anything to be able to get Cantwell and Lawrence in the same team. I think it's genius if it comes off. And we all kind of thought they would be competing for the same position within the team, but you can see in certain games that it's certainly going to work. But for me, he was my man of the match on Wednesday. I thought he was great the time that he was on the park, and he is still coming back to fitness. But we obviously there's always the elephant in the room that we have to hope that he stays kind of injury free now for the rest of the season. He never used to be injury prone until he came to Rangers. Of course he didn't.
It's a Rangers curse. It's a Rangers curse.
It's a Rangers curse. But the new role that he's playing under Clement, I'm very much all for it, mate. I really do. I just think he's great. I really do. I think he's a very, very tidy player. Not scared, brave on the ball, full of belief, wants to get forward, wants to make the passes to open up defences, to get Rangers away on the break. Yeah, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing from him.
I think, as you say, that was a real worry, and we spoke about it. Was Cantwell and Lawrence in the same team? It's two difference makers, and I think again, harping back to Big Phil, it's been him that's been able to, through his tactics and through his general know-how of the game, is get these two players, these two match-winning players in the same team. And I thought that Lawrence, like you, mate, man of the match all night. Even be things like when he sees the white of the goal, taking a shot from outside the box. I just think we need to be doing more than that. And I just think he really gets his ticking in there. And see now, I know we've spoke about who's in midfield too, and what are we doing there? And I know a lot of us were really vying for the Sterling Lundstrom role, but even now after the last few games, I think it looks like Lawrence and Lundstrom, especially at home where teams are going to sit in and they need to be unlocked. But I think it's great to see Cantwell and Lawrence playing this team. They had some brilliant interplay the other night. They really did.
I think as well, I don't know if we could really nail down a starting 11 under Clement. I think we would all have a preference right now, but I think the way that he's approaching it, it's very much rotation. It is rotation to an extent, though. I don't think he changes it too much, and he doesn't change it for just the sake of it. Everything has a reason behind it. Everything has an idea behind it of why he's doing it against whatever team that we are playing. So I think it would be. I think we would all have pretty different. We'd all have different starting 11s. Sorry, quickly. Des Masson, not Mason. Des Masson. Thank you very much.
Go on, Des. Brilliant.
Pleasure to meet you the other night, mate. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, I think the rotation is going to be crucial. But there is games that I feel that Cantwell, Lundstrom, and Lawrence all in the same team will be nothing but good for the team, and it's exciting to see. But there'll be other games where he probably chooses not to do that, and he might play Jack and Lundstrom, and he might, especially in Europe, we might see something a wee bit different. I don't think he's scared to rotate the squad, which is good because all the players need to feel involved. But we are the only team in Scotland that are involved in 3 competitions right now, and we're going to need everybody to play their part. Even Scott Wright, God help me, but even Scott Wright. So I it would be interesting to see if we all try to pick a starting 11 because I think we would be different, like a strongest starting 11. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think Clement even said that himself. I think when he was asked early on about his strongest 11, I think he said there's going to be a lot of change in terms of starting 11, in terms of the squad and who comes in for separate games. And obviously, we talk a lot about we're still fighting on 3 fronts. I think there's going to be at times when you need to chop and change that 11. And I think even just looking at the bench and looking at the squad, I just seeing the options that we have to bring on the pitch, to change a game, to tighten up a game is so much more refreshing now than it was at the start of the season.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting to see because we were getting forced to watch Lammers and Rangers teams, mate, and nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch that at all. But it's all about getting the most out of the squad that he has, and he's very much doing that. And this rotation seems to be working. I'm all for certain partnerships remaining the same and for as long as possible, and the centre half is one of them. Centre half is one of them. I believe that's pretty crucial, but the rest I think can be the spine of the team. I think from like the 2 centre halves to the sitting midfielder, which is Lundstrom and will be Lundstrom for the rest of the season, I would imagine. But apart from that, and obviously Tavernier and either Ridvan or Borna, Ridvan preferably. But after that, I think it's free to kind of rotation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, talking about who our favourite team is, and we obviously spoke about it earlier on, and we weren't going to bring it up, but you know what? I think it's perfect to get into at the moment. Obviously, the other night with the goal, Goldson got caught short again, ball over the top. I think he just got sucked in. He was covered in Ridvan, who was we like to play with the fullbacks high now. That's Clement's style of play. He got sucked in, and Suter was caught sleeping a wee bit. What was your take on the goal the other night? And I think there's been more than a few cases of hitting hope balls over the top. Is it getting to a worrying point now, mate? Is it something that we need to start working on in training, or is it just one of these freak balls over the top that the boy latches onto?
It caused chaos, mate, and it's not like a very good ball. He kind of plays it over his head backwards, and Suter. The one criticism that I have of John Suter is he's very good at winning initial headers in terms of if the ball's just coming straight out there, he's very good at winning it. But from the second phase, when he has to start tracking a man, he gets caught under the ball far too often. It happens quite a lot of the time. Literally, as soon as it happened, I just went, because I knew I was like, he's now in no man's land. He's at the point where he's got to turn around and charge toward his own goal. No defender likes doing that. There's literally no defender that likes doing that. Goldson gets caught sleeping as well, trying to cover the man, and John Shooter's a wee bit in panic station modes, and he is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. It's a good finish, don't get me wrong. The cross is pacey, and it's a really
pinpoint as well.
Yeah, but Butland can't do anything about that. You've got to give credit where it's due. It's a really good goal, but it's a preventable goal if we're just a wee bit more clever at reading the second phase from the long kick out that inevitably comes from time to time. It's a goal that it's not, you can't really call it the same as maybe what Goldson's been criticised before previously, but I don't think either of the two centre halves can really cover this. They didn't really cover themselves in any glory with that goal. It was just one of those ones after it happened, you were going, God, that could have been dealt with a lot better.
I know, and it kind of it felt like the Connor Barron ball over the top to Miovski in the Aberdeen game. As you say, Suter coming onto the ball when it's getting flighted in from their half he's honestly second to none, probably better than Goldson.
Brilliant.
And I agree. And I think for the rest of the game they didn't really have a lot to deal with. There was a few kind of scary moments with balls in and all that, but really nothing clear cut anyway. So I think that's your settled centre back partnership moving forward. I know he's saying that Balogun's going to come in. He's going to have to use Balogun anyway at some point. So obviously the Europa League coming back in. So what are your thoughts? Do you think it's a Suter Goldson centre back partnership for the rest of the season? Most games.
Well, it's Goldson and someone, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's always going to be Connor Goldson. Look, I know a lot of people are like wanting to give Goldson a bit of dig and a bit of stick, and he probably deserves it. The other night he was in panic stations at points. The other night there, just doing things that he never usually does. Try to overcomplicate the game as well at times, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" But it's that's when Stephen Clement comes out and says we're not looking at the table and all that. The players are bloody looking at the table. They knew exactly what was on the line on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
They knew fine well. So yeah, Goldson's one of the ones that maybe gives me a wee slight cause for concern because he is one of the ones that will have a lot of scar tissue. There's a lot of stuff he's been. I don't want to say a serial loser, but you know what I mean by that. He's lost a lot. He's lost a lot in terms of the kind of big moments, in terms of trophies that we could have won and should have won, probably. But yeah, I think it is Goldson. Goldson is probably the best centre half that we have, and I think you will see a rotation between Suter and Balogun. I don't think he fancies Davis. I know he's. I think he's just coming back from an injury. He was on the bench the other night, so he's probably fit enough to play. Don't know how long he's fit to play for, but I don't think he fancies him. For me, just because of the longevity of it, I would be putting Goldson and Suter there because I think that'll be a partnership pairing that we could see even rolling into next season. I don't expect Balogun to be offered an extension. I really don't, and there's no disrespect to him, but there's going to come a time where you have to move on from it. Balogun's decent, he is, but I still think at times he's a wee bit wayward. I don't think we've really got a perfect centre half. I suppose that perfect centre half doesn't really exist, does it? I thought but for me, it would be Goldson and Suter. That's the kind of partnership I'd be concentrating on. Everybody's going to be different. I think people would have Goldson and Balogun. I think some people would even have Goldson and Davis. But for me, it would be Soapy and it would be Goldson. Dixie's just gave us $9.99. Don't say I never watch again. Okay, Dixie, I will let you off, mate. I will let you off.
Go on, Dixie.
You do watch the podcast. Thank you, Dixie, mate. I'll see you for a pint soon, mate.
No, I think the Goldson thing, we're sort of spoiled with his performances because we're used to him being such a high level of performance. So when games like that happen the other night, you think that it's very out of character for him. But I hope that going into the run-in, I hope they get a lot more settled, and I hope they try and work on that ball over the top, which seems to be catching us out a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on, mate. The next point, Europa League draw next Friday the 23rd. It's a week today. I'll read out some of the possible teams. Obviously, there was a round of fixtures last night, so I think a lot of the ties next Thursday, they're going to have a reflection on who we actually get. So the teams that we can get, Feyenoord, Roma, Galatasaray, Sparta Prague, Shakhtar Donetsk, Marseille, Young Boys, Sporting Lisbon, Benfica, Toulouse, Lens, Freiburg, AC Milan, Rennes, Braga, or Karabag. So in terms of those games and what's hanging in the balance, it looks like Sporting Lisbon are probably going to go through. It looks like Milan are through. Karabag beat Braga 4-2, so it's kind of finally hanging in the balance. Apart from that, the rest of the games are very tight. So who do we want? And more importantly, who do we want to avoid at this point?
Yeah, Billy, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Very much
Billy.
appreciated, Billy. That's fantastic. Cheers, mate. I would love AC Milan, mate, but it's probably best that we don't get them. But
I said that the other night in one of my group chats, and somebody's like, "What are you talking about, man? It's AC Milan," and they absolutely romped Rennes as well. They battered them, and they look good. But I just think, in terms of a glamour tie right away, I just think it's like getting Dortmund before. It's getting a big hitter, and Ibrox is rocking under the lights. So I mean, there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, especially if you get the first leg at Ibrox. Can you imagine the noise of that against AC Milan? That would be pretty special, I think. And plus, friend of the podcast, Scotia, I think he would have a heart attack if Milan and Rangers were playing at Ibrox. He's an AC Milan fanboy, he is. He would have a heart attack. But I mean, it's typical. It's the most cliche thing. Something that's not far away, not long travel, easy back and forth, nothing too complicated for Rangers to get there and get back. Look, at this stage of the competition, mate, we were fortunate to finish top. Clermont managed to get that job done, which is brilliant.
Yep.
We did finish top. It gave us a wee bit more time to concentrate in the league, which I think has helped. It'll probably be something that we look at towards the end of the season, is that it's probably helped us to in order to build the momentum to close the gap. And it's into March in it before we play in the second leg. Is that right? In the first leg,
I think it's mid-March.
Yeah, so it's March before we're there. So look, I honestly, mate, I know I said to you, make sure you read all the team, make sure you get all the teams. I don't know who it is, but the bigger the team, the better, mate. I love it. I absolutely love it. See, when the big team comes, mate, I just love it. I think the atmosphere's so much better. Like, I don't want to play Sparta Prague again because we've played them about 140 times in the past 4 years.
Aye.
But like, I would love a big team. I really would love a big team. You've got to beat them all, mate. Put it that way. If you want to go on and win this thing in Dublin, then you've got to win them all.
So see you saying that you don't want somewhere too far away. Is that you saying that you're going to take me, Ali, and Ryan away in a Euro?
No.
All right. Oh, sorry. I misread that.
I'll tell you what. You can ask my missus. You can personally ask my missus if I can do that. Okay.
Send me a number. I'll phone in the night.
I will, mate. Hang on. That's went a wee bit too far. But let's see who we get in the next round.
I'll innocently phone in the night. All right.
Yeah, cool.
No, I think in terms of the teams, I mean, like, as you say, there's big hitters in there. There's big hitters, and I watched the Champions League the other night. I think there's some better teams in the Europa League. I think this season is more exciting a competition. Like, I would see Galatasaray. Imagine that at Ibrox. It'd be brilliant. It'd be absolutely brilliant. And there's like Sporting Lisbon, Benfica. There's great teams in there. So I tend to think we're not going to avoid one of the big boys. So I just think bring it on.
Bring it on, mate. Honestly, absolutely bring it on. The bigger the better. We like glamour ties. We like glamour ties. Plus, it'll make it easier when Rangers whip 55 quid out your bank account as well.
I mean, yeah, you don't even get it. They don't even tell you. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. It's that Tuesday before payday. There you go. They're 50 quid. Like you're living on a tin of beans for 5 days after that. Do you know what I mean? So no, I think looking forward to that next Friday, and we'll be keeping a close eye on it, mate. Keeping a close eye on it. So to finish up, we're going to go for teams for St Johnstone on Sunday. Who's your team? What's your score? And who's your first scorer?
Yeah, in terms of the game itself, mate, I think it's a difficult game. It's quite a tricky place to go. The pitch is usually a cow field, especially this time of year, the amount of rain we've had this week. So I can't imagine it's in any great shape. And it's going to be a difficult game. Every game from now until the end of the season, mate, it's a massive game. Do you know what I mean? It's a massive game. It's going to be like this nip and tuck. Obviously, they play before us, and it will be like that for... Is it next Saturday we can go? I think we can go top for 24 hours next Saturday, I think. Is that right?
We've got Hearts on the 24th.
That's right.
I don't know who they have on the Sunday. I think they've got a trip
Motherwell.
to Tynecastle. They've got a trip to
Motherwell away.
Tynecastle pretty soon as well. Aye, right, okay. Aye, so
They've got Motherwell away.
So there's as you say, so there's going to be a bit of to and fro in terms of the fixtures, but I think we're obviously going to play. We're going to play more on a Sunday because of our commitment to the Europa League on a Thursday.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because of the Europa League. So no, look, the game itself, it's just win Rangers now, isn't it? I think we're all going to get to the point where we actually don't care how we play football. It's just win, just keep winning. That's all we have to do. I thought Clement was quite interesting today in his press conference. He was saying, obviously, when you're on these runs, these teams want to try and stop your run. I feel like saying, your Rangers, Mr. Clement, every team wants to beat you. It doesn't matter what kind of run you're on, every team wants to beat you. Everybody wants to release a DVD about the time they beat Rangers. So the game itself, mate, as I say, it's just, I'm never a fan of 12 o'clock on a Sunday. It's not ideal at all, but obviously it is what it is. Be interesting to see how Parkhead reacts on Saturday. I'm not going to lie. As I say, I'll be keeping a close eye on their score to see how they're feeling, because I've had just a quick look at social media. You'll see mixed reactions from a lot of them. So it will be interesting to see how they react. And Kilmarnock are doing pretty well. I think I think McInnes has done quite well with recruitment in terms of the window that he just had there. I think he's done pretty well. So I think it won't be I would hope it's not a walk in the park for them anyway. But look, more about us. It doesn't, in a nice posh way, it doesn't really matter. Justin, since Ali's not here, I'll do it. God bless America, buddy. Thank you so much, Justin. Very, very much appreciated, mate. Really do appreciate that. You're always there. So yeah, it'll be a tough game, mate. It's going to be a tough game. St Johnstone are no real great team. They're not in any real great shape, but it's a game that we have to be there, and we have to do what we have to do to get 3 points.
It's a Craig Levein team as well, so you know they're going to be super disciplined, very well set up. It's a back nine on a cow field, as you just called it as well. Yeah. The pitch is not going to be great, so we're not going to be playing any great expansive football, but we've just got to find a way. So, because as you say, it's going to be back and forth with, and as we spoke about at the start of the pod, to have this title running, it's going to be neck and neck. It's not going to be, for me, it's not going to be a convincing. We're not going to win it by a great deal. They're not going to win it by a great deal. I think in terms of, I don't like talking about them on the podcast, but in terms of squads, teams, the way they're playing, I think we're pretty much neck and neck. And I think I've said to the boys in my WhatsApp group and the podcast WhatsApp group as well, it's going to come down to the Old Firms, and it's going to come down to the 1 on the 7th for me as well. And that is a big one, because I just think we've got a head of steam now where we're just going to keep ticking off the 3 points, and we're going to keep going. And I think obviously Sunday's the next big test, and let's just get that done.
That is what it's all about, though, mate, isn't it? That's the only thing that we have to do now, is just look after our own business, and hopefully something falls into our hands. That's all you can do. And look, Celtic are not daft; they'll be thinking the same way. They're not stupid. They'll think that we just keep doing our thing. Hopefully something falls in their way. Jim Sloan, fantastic, mate. Thank you so much. Much appreciated, Jim. Always right after Justin. I'll need to come up with a slogan for Jim. I don't know. I don't know. I'll think of something. I'll try and think of something.
Sloan slogan.
Sloan slogan.
Brilliant.
You can tell Jamie works in graphic design, can't you? That's what I'm
saying. I work in advertising. Do you know what I mean? That's what you got me on for things like
that. Fantastic, Jim. Honestly, much appreciated. But no, that's what it's all about. Just looking after your own business just now, and just hope something falls into your way. I mean, if this stays like it is, and it's tit for tat the whole way to the next Old Firm, I can't cope with stuff. I hope we're at least 2 points ahead by the time it comes to the next Old Firm, because I'll be an absolute mess before the Old Firm.
Well, do you know what? I actually seen Stevie from Four Lads chatting to somebody on Twitter about it earlier on, and he just said, you've got to just enjoy it. It's going to be so up and down. Your nerves are going to be shredded. But when was the last time we were in this position? You've got to soak it up and enjoy it. There's no other way to do it.
Oh, look, I'm sorry, Jamie, we've been beat here. The Curry Muncher, the Sloan Ranger. The Sloan Ranger. That is definitely it. That is Jim, the Sloan Ranger. That is excellent. Yes, comment of the night. Comment of the night, well done. So the Sloan Ranger, I'll try and not forget that. Right, team. Tomorrow I'll go, for Sunday, I will go Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, I'll stick with Suter. I don't think he'll bring Balogun back in just yet. I think he's more talking about bringing him into the squad because, as I say, I just don't think he fancies Davis. Ridvan, Lundstrom. In fact, I'm pretty much naming the same team, I think. Lundstrom, I don't think he'll not go with Lawrence again, though. Maybe Diamonde, do you think you'll bring him in? Do you think you will? Possibly Diamonde? Maybe Raskin again?
I think I think Raskin's down the pecking order now, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get in, and because I think Diamande showed a lot when he's came on. So I think you're right, man. I think Diamande could be starting on Sunday.
Diamande. Yeah, Cantwell, because Matondo's out 100%, I'd start Cortez. Dessers or Silva. I'm going to put Silva in just purely because I think it's going to be a kind of stuffy game. I think him and Cantwell could be critical, and I'm interested to see Diamande, Cantwell and Silva for a considerable period of time on the pitch together. And then on the right hand side, I'll put McCausland. I don't think McCausland was great the other night, but I'm sticking with McCausland because I don't think Scott Wright's anywhere near what we need right now. No disrespect to him, I just don't think he's a very good footballer. So yeah, that'll be my team. I'm going to go 2-0 Rangers, and I'm going to go Cortez to score first.
Take that. So I'm going to go same back line as you. So Butland, Tav, Goldson, Suter, Ridvan. I'm just going to stick with Lundstrom and Lawrence because I just think they played that well together the other night. Also would like to see Diamande come on like he did the other night and put his foot in the ball at some point. If it's a tight game, I don't know if it's going to be a tight game. I would like to get out and score a few early goals. Like you, I want to see Cortez getting a start. I think he needs to. I think he needs to come in now and show us what he's all about. Obviously, Cantwell in the 10. It really, I'm going back to a few weeks ago when I brought Cantwell up when I was on the pod with Ali, and honestly, I just think the last few weeks he has been exceptional, absolutely brilliant. He's everything that we wanted him to be. Always looking for the ball. He's never hiding now. Drives us forward. Honestly, he was close to Lawrence for man of the match in my eyes our night. So I just think he needs to stay in there. I think he's shown us all what he can do now. Consistency levels are up as well. So he's in there. McCausland, like you, mate, don't think he had his best game, but I also don't think he done a lot wrong. And then I'm going to put Dessers in because I think Dessers carries more of a physical threat because thinking about Perth the last time, remember Danilo get battered in the face. They're a big physical side, man, and I think he can throw it about more than Silva. But Silva coming on later on in the game as well to run them ragged. And I'm gonna go 3-0 Rangers. I'm gonna go 3-0 Rangers on Sunday, and I'm gonna go four-man man. I'm gonna go four-man, and I'll be right on Sky Bet on Sunday morning, putting that on. Be fiver. I just hope for it every time, and then he's going to be 3 goals to his 10 for the second half of the season.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, I mean, I can see why you're going for Dessers, mate. Really, to be honest, I can completely understand it. I don't know if he will because he seems to be swapping like alternative games. But yeah, I mean, Dessers, it's probably a shout. I mean, does he deserve to be dropped really after scoring 2 goals the other night? I don't know if you can say he can. I know he missed his chance. I missed a number of chances, but he still scored 2.
No, he did, and that's the thing. Obviously, Silva in the previous game against Aberdeen came on, and I think in my eyes he changed the game. He was brilliant against Aberdeen when he came on. So look, having two options in the number 9 position, performing that well, it can only be a good thing. Do you know what I mean? It can only be a good thing. So let's wait and see.
Yeah.
So do you want to do questions? You want to?
No, but about an hour, mate. So we'll wrap up tonight. Yeah, we'll wrap up tonight.
Okay, so signing off. Thank you very much, Scott, for letting me host tonight. Enjoyed it.
Don't let you host, mate. You're part of the gang now, mate. You're very much part of the podcast now. So no, Friday night's your guys' show. Friday night's my night for not doing very much. So no, brilliant, mate. Really good podcast. Enjoyed it. It's always good when things are like this just now. With Rangers and you're playing well and we're riding a bit of a crest of a wave, which is brilliant, and we just hope it continues for as long as possible, really. Thank you for everybody getting involved in the chat tonight. Thank you for all the donations as well. Absolutely spectacular. Sorry, Jamie, I feel like I'm stealing your bit, before you go, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe to our channel. That would be magic. We're on the push to 6k subscribers, which would be excellent if you can help us get there. But well hosted, Jamie. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Thank you very much. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast.